Voice of Indonesia.
And that was Service Voice of Indonesia from Indonesia to the world. Listener, 45 is a very sacred number for Indonesia. Like, we got our independence in 1945. But not only that, we also this year celebrating the 45 years of diplomatic relations with Ecuador, a very friendly country for us. And joining us in the studio is the ambassador of Ecuador, His Excellency Luis Arellano Jibaja. Good day, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for invitation today. Terima kasih for all the audience in Jakarta. Thank you very much.
And talking about the 45 years of bilateral ties, I would like to know, what is the most important achievements that we have made together?
Thank you, Steve. And on April 29th, Ecuador and Indonesia, we subscribed the diplomatic relations 45 years ago. For us, it's important to continue strengthening these bilateral relations through subscribing different instruments and especially organizing different activities, because we need to foster our relation. We have 40 years, but we are very old friends. Ecuador opened its embassy in 2004, and Indonesia opened embassy in Quito 2010. With this, you have an idea how important is our diplomatic relation. Of course, it's not only political aspects or culture or economy. We need to give more importance these bilateral relations. This is the idea with Ecuador here, in order to identify new actions, new options, in order to continue working with Indonesia and people of Ecuador and Indonesia also.
And how do you think that the bilateral consultation forum and also joint commission meetings contribute to the increasing cooperation between us?
Mm-hmm. In the last 15 years, Ecuador and Indonesia have subscribed around at least 15 agreements in different aspects: culture, minority investment, political consultation, culture, defense, security. And the more important for us is bilateral political consultation, because when you meet all this group, you have decided many aspects. The last meeting was here in Jakarta, 2022, in August, and next will be in Quito. Unfortunately, this year is not possible, but will be in 2026 in Quito. And of course, every opportunity with this, with Indonesia and Ecuador counterparts, meeting with them, the idea is to decide how to implement the actions we identified in the past. For that reason, we have many items to develop in the future: new technology, agriculture, health, and of course, for example, cooperation between Komodo National Park and Galapagos National Park, because we are in the same Ecuadorian line. No? For that reason, when you say what is the best achievement, a lot of, but of course, every period of time, we need to identify what is the best now in order to continue strengthening our relation. But at least we are working very hard with not only KEMLU, also with the universities, with the private sector, with the commercial sector also, in order to say, okay, what can I do in the next 5 years? Of course, the document where we can identify this action, it's through the political consultations agreement, no? When they will meet in Ecuador 2026.
So it's like a very important thing to come in the future to make sure that what we have decided in the past will be carried out again and better in the future. But I would like to know, how good is these decisions that was made in the past has been carried out so far?
For example, for us, the important instruments are the political consultation, and another is a special task group in order to foster the economy or the commercial relations with Indonesia, because we have good relations with Indonesia, not only in the multilateral arena, also in the a nivel the political arena, but a nivel the commerce, we need to work more, because every year Ecuador and Indonesia we have around $400 million. But you compare with another countries for example, Thailand, Vietnam, it's nothing, no. But in my opinion, we have opportunities for both sides because Ecuador understands business is not only for one side. No? In our opinion, Indonesia and Ecuador should identify different aspects in order to promote our products and to receive mutual benefits. This is the idea.
Yeah, mutual benefit is very, very important because cooperation is not about one side is getting everything.
Of course. International cooperation, for example, Indonesia has developed different policies in specific items. For example, agriculture, health. For us, it's important to know how Indonesia reached this goal, how to sharing with another countries like Ecuador through international cooperation. Because Ecuador also the same has special developments, could be interest for Indonesia. And in the future, the idea is Ecuador and Indonesia sharing these developments and to exchange experience. Now, in this period of time, it's better through virtual season. It's not necessary to travel to Ecuador or to come from Ecuador to Indonesia because it's far away. It's almost 3 days. And but if continue using the new media, maybe we can reach more goals in the future as soon as possible.
So we can say with the development of technology, it's getting easier for us to communicate between the two countries, even if so far away, right?
Yeah, for example, when I came from Ecuador to Indonesia, I spent 3 days. And the same, if you go to Ecuador, it's 2 days at least. Unfortunately, the air ticket is very expensive in all during the year. But I have contact with authorities here in Indonesia in order to promote this international cooperation through new technologies, and they are very happy in order to develop these activities in the next period, next months.
We are looking for long-term ones, right? And talking about our distance, we have talked about plane tickets, but also it also concerns about the trade. And I would like to know how good is our trade relations until now?
Listen, our relations are always positive, excellent, and good. For example, Indonesian citizens could travel to Ecuador without visa. This is the main idea. How is the deal Ecuador and Indonesia? In addition, we are very close societies. We are friendly people. We have delicious gastronomy. If you compare Ecuador and Indonesia, because Ecuador is a small one, if you compare with Indonesia, but we share many challenges, many aspects in order to, if you visit Ecuador, you feel there happy, comfortable, and especially to learn not only Ecuador about technology, also about the heritage, also about the indigenous people, about culture, gastronomy, etc. The same for Ecuadorian people. Here in Indonesia, we learn a lot because you have an important society, not now, 100 years ago, and I would like to learn about, for example, about Pancasila, your philosophy in your life. Yesterday was, I understand, you celebrate 80 years. And very happy for that reason, because we can sharing not only about academy, about commercial aspect, also about our lifestyle.
Yeah. And I would like to specify it on the trade sector. What is the interest of the embassy in Indonesia? I heard that your specialty is also the cacao. We like chocolates so much. So what can you say about it?
Listen, Steve. Through political consultations in the last years, Ecuador and Indonesia have identified the possibility in the future to subscribe a special commercial agreement. But this is how the technical counterparts have identified. We need to continue asking the authorities of Indonesia and Ecuador, because it's mutual, when it's possible to foster this proposal. In addition, till now, Ecuador and Indonesia, we have, it's not a huge business because we need to develop more. But actually, Ecuador export to Indonesia cocoa is around 97% of the commercial all the money we sell to Indonesia. In additional, natural flowers, roses, and particularly, and another aspect. Of course, we buy from Indonesia parts of vehicles for cars, and another elements with the price is higher if you compare with the price of Ecuador sell to Indonesia. For that reason, according to this technical group who have met in the past, we need to close the private sector. This is my goal this period, in order to close CADIM with the private sector in Ecuador. Because, the public sector like me, like ambassador, like Minister of Foreign Affairs, were a bridge, but who close the business are the private sector. For that reason, we can work a lot, but of course the private sector should identify what is the better option for Indonesia and Ecuador, because the idea is mutual benefits between these countries.
Yeah. And when you're mentioning about the private sector, so does it mean that there are still so many unexplored sectors yet to be explored by the private sectors then?
Yeah, of course.
Very much.
Of course. Listen, for example, in the next weeks, we will contact authorities here in Indonesia about the investment in Ecuador, for example. We need private investment, for example, in agriculture sector and infrastructure, hospitals, etc. And we have all the information from Ecuador, and I would like to meet with them in order to invite to invest in Ecuador. Of course, Indonesia will analyze what is good or no today or in the future. But this is the new deal. It's not only to export cocoa, or for example, tuna, shrimps, roses, where Ecuador is the main exporter. Also is to work with investment, in Ecuador. Of course, we need to know also at the same time what Indonesia interests are.
And from our conversation, we can. I wouldn't like to oversimplify this, but we can see that we still get a lot of things to do to make sure that this long-term relation can get better, and also bringing mutual benefit. And to end our conversation, sir, could you please tell our listener, on the occasion of the 45 years of our diplomatic relations, what do you want to say to Indonesians, Ecuadorian, and maybe to the global community about our relations?
Thank you, Steve. This year we celebrate 45 years, important date for us, Indonesia and Ecuador. In general, we wish the best first for the Indonesian people and its government, and we hope to work together in order to identify activities, sectors where both countries could work in order as soon as possible to get benefits. The important is in mutual respect, international cooperation, and especially in order to continue strengthening our relations, because we have now 45, but at least the idea is to continue in order in the next year to celebrate more.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, thank you very much, your ambassador, for coming to our studio, and we wish that everything to be identified can be identified really, really soon.
We need to learn always when I visit academics, university or sectors. I'd say we need to know more about Indonesia, and Indonesia should know more about Ecuador, because I think so. We need to work both countries in the future. If you allow me, and on Friday we'll start Eid al-Adha, I would like to express all the Muslim community in Indonesia, Eid Mubarak, and I wish the best for this important holiday for Muslim community.
Thank you very much, sir.
Muchas gracias.
And if I can give you one small sentence about our conversation, it seems that good friends need to know each other better.
Yes.
Something like that.
Your words are right. We need to to know more. For that reason, in the future, we have, for example, in June this month, we will show a picture about Chusalongo in Senayan Cinema 21, and next month we will organize a cocoa tasting event and Zrin tasting event, and of course another cultural activities in order to close Ecuadorian culture with Indonesian culture. But you have beautiful things here.
And if people want in Indonesia especially, and not only Indonesian, everybody, the global community, and they wanted to know more about the activity of Ecuadorian embassy in here, where can they find it?
It's now century 21st. Mm-hmm. You need follow us through the media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can write only Embassy of Ecuador in Indonesia, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and then you have all the activities we organize. And there you can say when we invite the the community of Indonesia to attend some cultural activities we organize. You're welcome.
So it's as easy as it gets.
Yeah. Now you need to say, please follow our media.
So if you want to know more, please make sure to follow the social media of the Ecuadorian embassy, because the job to know each other is not only by the government, not only by the companies, but also between our people.
It's true. It's true. We need to close our civil society, our community in general.
And we wish that will happen.
I hope see you in Ecuador, Steve, one day.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, listener, this is our talk with the Ambassador of Ecuador, His Excellency Luis Arellano Jibaja, and we wish that this friendship will continue not only for the next 45 years, but also more than that. And you can listen again to this conversation on our YouTube channel, VOI Official.
Voice of Indonesia.